mighty ocean, everything. Of your motions can become this spring. Yet in all your might and glory, from the sky, just another story. It's me, man-made life. It tells how it fell from the sky.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Free American Hour. I'm your host, Clay Douglas. And, well, let me give you a few little updates. One from the ADL. The ADL has taken a poll, and they say in their in the Jerusalem Post here, you know, I read newspapers from all over the country, so you got to know what's happening. You got to know both sides of the story in order to come to any rational conclusions. But the ADL says that age-old stereotypes about Jews, money, and power still remain. A nationwide poll conducted by the Anti-Defamation League shows. A nationwide U.S. survey released by the Anti-Defamation League on Thursday found that anti-Semitic tendencies had increased slightly but significantly. So, I guess we're making a little bit of progress, huh? The results showed that 15% of Americans hold anti-Semitic views, 3% more than in results of a similar poll carried out in 2009, dropping back to levels of anti-Semitism found in 2007 and 2009. This was done with a telephone survey of 1,754 adults. It was conducted on October 13th to 23rd. Of course, the fact that they say here that anti-Semitic attitudes have increased significantly over the past 2 years is troubling and raising questions about the impact of broader trends in America: financial insecurity, social insecurity, uncertainty, decline in civility, and the growth of polarization on attitudes towards Jews, said Abraham Foxman, the ADL National Director. It is disturbing that all the strides we made in becoming a more tolerant society, anti-Semitic beliefs continue to hold a vice grip on a small but insubstantial segment of the American public. Among the findings, the poll demonstrated that stereotypes about Jews, money, and Jewish power still remain. Joe, you mean just because Bernie Madoff happened to be Jewish and ripped off, a few $1 billion, and the Federal Reserve has ripped off trillions of dollars, and fine, and that, well, the American people out there, see, the problem is, folks, the problem is that the Jewish couple that goes to synagogue and goes to work every day, and I'm sure they sit back and they know they've got a little bit of an edge. They got a little bit of an edge, and so they're fairly comfortable with that. And they're not the bad guys. They're not the bad guys any more than the Christians living next door to them. They are deluded. They are living under a delusion according to the Bible. And, you know, how do you separate it? How do you fight evil without becoming evil? That's the problem we got, and that's what I've been trying to deal with for the last 20 years. And I am still demonized. And look, Israel, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into that in just a few minutes. I'm going to tell you about the formation of the Illuminati. Back at the same time they formed this country, and they put their bar association lawyers in. I said, there's a couple of things I can't tell you. I really can't tell you. Whether the government runs the mafia, or if the mafia runs the government. I can't tell you if the government owns the all of the media, controls all the media, or if the media controls the government. Because the media, the media is controlled and bought and paid for by the banksters. They put their people in on the editorial boards. That's generally why I can't get published as I have been for 20 years. And there's been a war on me. There's certainly been a war on me, but it's been on people throughout history that woke up and tried and wanted to be free. Now, I think there's answers. I think there's answers. I think Sheriff Richard Mack is doing the right thing. He's put out information. He's put out information that he's starting a convention of sheriffs. I think that's good, because I put on a convention. I put on a platform for the sheriff, and it was over in Bisbee, Cochise County. Cochise County Sheriff Larry Deaver. I just saw Larry a few days ago. I was scheduled to speak on Sunday. Here's what happened. I put the whole event together. I got Harley Davidson involved in it, our brother. I did it for a woman, and I'm not even going to give her name out, because I think she is just like most Americans. She's scared to death of me. Loud, booming voice. Pretty adamant when I tell somebody something. Yeah, but no, sorry, ain't yelling. Just me, just my voice. And I still have a little bit of biker mentality, just watching Easy Rider again for the first time in since 1969. And you know, I think we made a difference. But this woman, I put the event together, I put the flyers together, I put everything together, I got it with her, and then 2 weeks ago she told me she didn't need me anymore. She didn't need me anymore. She didn't like the way I talked to her, she didn't like the sound of my voice, she didn't like the tone of my voice. I could still speak, I could still have a booth, I could still come there on Sunday, the last speaker. She had me set up as the last speaker. Now, whether you like me or not, whether you enjoy my conversation, whether you enjoy my point of view, that's it doesn't matter. I am well known, I am controversial, and I do have people out there trying to put me down, shut me down, and keep you from listening to me. Oh, Clay's he's a biker. Oh, he's an anti-Semite. Oh, he's a racist. It's a racist. And that was still evident. I rode over to the arena bar where this was all scheduled. You'll notice it's not up on my website anymore. I took it down 2 days ago. Because when I got over there were maybe 5 bikes on the whole parking lot. Table full of goodies that had been donated by Harley and some stores. And Sheriff Deaver was there, and the owner of the bar, Chrissy, was there, and the lady that put on the event was there. The lady that put on the event would not talk to me. Sheriff Deaver told me that somebody had called his office complaining about me being involved in this. Somebody, and then I walked in, and they said, the woman at the bar and Sheriff Deaver said, well, we were told that you put out an email said the event had been canceled. That's why there's only 5 people here. No, I never put out an email. No, I didn't do that. Why would I want to cancel an event I was speaking of? And when the woman wouldn't talk to me, or the lady I was with that was supposed to be helping me in the booth, she wouldn't speak to me. wouldn't talk to me, wouldn't talk to the woman that I was with. Walked away every time I came towards her. I went back and thought about it, and I called on Saturday morning and told them I will not be doing the event. I will not be doing the event. I will not be speaking there. I am not going to contribute to this when I'm being demonized all over again. And I woke up Sunday morning and it was pouring rain. I don't know how the event went on. I know people came there on Saturdays. I know that they had a few people there signing up. I knew that. I that's what the owner of the bar told me. When I told her I wasn't speaking there, she said, well, I understand, you know, no problem with me, no problem with me. And so I'd already made up my mind on Saturday morning not to go over there. Not to, why am I, and what am I going to do? Get up on stage and talk to 5 people? I don't think so. I've got more people, more of an audience here. 134 of you listening to me right now. So I did not do the event. I did not. I was not featured in an event, and I don't know what it says. I don't know. So the issues that we wanted to talk about, the illegal aliens, and yeah, one of my guests on here says white man's a dying race. USA will have only a Caucasian population of only between 18 and 22%. That's quite possible. That's what Bill Clinton told you. So yeah, we are fighting as a white race. We're fighting for our lives here. We are the people in America, the people in Germany, the white Christians have been targeted. They've been targeted in Germany because the Jewish-controlled countries have won the war. And that's where we are. That's where we are right now. Well, let's talk about that. Yeah, Germany's already lost to Turkish immigrants. I don't know who these Turks are, but I certainly don't like anything. And yeah, Renegade says the white race is being destroyed by the rabid Jews. Is that rabid? Or is that rabbis? Same thing. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what you can't talk about. Let's talk about what you can't. Hey, lady, how are you? Lady, Ornery, and Planet are my bouncers. You want to be rude? You want to be rude to me? You want to be a smart ass? You want to be a troll? We'll kick your ass out. I don't have any room for idiots and assholes in my room. Won't allow you in. But let's talk about the Illuminati. You've heard about even Alex Jones will talk to you about the Illuminati. But he probably won't tell you who they are and why they are. I will. I am Clay Douglas. I have written books, and I've got 300 of you listening to me out there. Let me tell you. They don't want you listening to me. They don't want you reading anything that I've written over the past 40 years. They don't know about that. They don't want you to hear about it. They don't want you to go to freeamerican.com. They don't want you to order Mystery Babylon that's got a whole history of the Rothschilds and the Homeland Security. Tell you why Homeland Security is targeting the militia again and the Jews again and why they're targeting veterans. I will tell you. I will tell you, and I'm trying to do that right now. You need to help. You need to make a donation so I can afford to do this. So I've got the gas to go here and go there and do that. You need to get my book so you've got an education so you can pass them on to your children so they'll understand what is happening to their country and why it happened. And let me try to give you just a little bit of that. And just for kicks here. Let me see, you got a block number, who are you? And are you just listening, or do you want to talk to me? Do you have a question? You on the block number on the Blog Talk Radio? Hello, block number. So what does that mean? You're just another troll? Okay, to hell with you. Alright. On May 1st, 1776, history records that Dr. Adam Weishaupt founded the Bavarian Order of the Illuminati. Weishaupt was a professor of Jewish Canon law at the University of Ingolstadt in Bavaria, Germany. He was born to Jewish parents and later converted, or more correctly, infiltrated Roman Catholicism. He became a high-ranking member of the Order of the Jesuits, whom he subsequently left to form his very own organization at the clear behest of the newly formed House of Rothschild. It was the Jewish Weishaupt's belief that only a chosen few could qualify for enough illumination to guide and rule the world. The problem was, where could he find such intellectual light bearers to start the ball rolling? He subsequently found them in various lodges and orders of the day, such as various Masonic Lodges, the Rosicrucian Order, and other legitimate and sincere bearers to start the ball rolling. He subsequently found them in various lodges, orders of the day, such as various Masonic Lodges, Rosicrucian Order, and other legitimate and sincere orders of antiquity. This was confirmed yet again by Edith Starr-Miller in her classic Occult Theocracy. As the organization of the Illuminati developed, so did its ambitions, which ended in a plot to subvert Masonry to its aim of world domination by any and all means. After obtaining control of certain Masonic lodges, Weishaupt and his associates recklessly vaunted their growing power. But this didn't happen without reprisal. Many members of the lodges and various orders, realizing that they and their harmless societies and organizations had duly infiltrated, warned Weishaupt to discontinue his activities. Fortunately for Weishaupt, Thomas Jefferson in 1784 had recently been named the United States ambassador to France. Jefferson, an avowed Mason, favored Weishaupt's New World Order, according to the writer here. I don't necessarily agree with that, but this new order was now guaranteed to continue, and it eventually dominated all others and became known as the Order of the Illuminati. It's quite possible that Thomas Jefferson, being a Mason, George Washington, being a Mason, thought they were a good thing and didn't realize what the evil nature of this Jesuit-Jewish link. The third general of the Jesuits, after its founder, Spanish founder, Ignazio de Loyola, was that of a Belgian Jew named Eberhard Mercurian. He held the title for 17 years between 1573 and 1580 and would no doubt have had a significant and consequential Judaizing influence on the Jesuit order, hence upon the Roman Catholic Church. And Edith Starr-Miller on page 313 writes, from the Jesuit College at Ingolstadt in 1776 is said to have issued the sect known as the Illuminati of Bavaria. In fact, some of the most influential Jesuits in history, such as Francisco Ribera and Emmanuel Lacunza, were Jews. Seeing that many of the Jesuit doctrines are similar to those found in the Babylonian Talmud, is it possible that the RRC is simply another agent provocateur that the Pharisaic serpents have used yet again to paganize and destroy true Christianity through the vain traditions of men? The Illuminati under the renegade Weishaupt gradually became an openly destructive Luciferian society with everything in its doctrines and rituals the exact antithesis of Christianity. It begins by enticing its victims into the first few initial degrees by the most beautiful altruistic and fraternal ideals and noble aspirations possible. However, it gradually and almost imperceptibly weaves a web of murderous Satanism as it descends into the higher degrees. Good description. Descends into the higher degrees. Descends into madness. Weishaupt wanted a deistic republic of truly global dimensions, even if it brought about violent worldwide revolutions and rivers of blood. His benevolent dictatorships had 6 points dealing with the abolition of ordered and nationalistic governments in the form of monarchies, private property, inheritance rights, patriotism to nationalist causes, social order and family, sexual prohibition laws, and all moral codes, and all religious disciplines based on faith of a living God as opposed to faith in nature, man, and reason. It is interesting that this is almost word for word from Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto, and these 6 points are perfectly consistent with the protocols of the elders of Zion in general, once again proving their legitimacy. The Karl history records that Karl Moses Mordecai Marx Levy was born on May 5, 1818, in the city of Trier in the Rhine province of Prussia, now Germany. His mother, Henrietta Pressburg, was from Holland and, like Karl's father, was Jewish and a descendant of a long line of rabbis. Marxists view the family as the primary obstacle to dismantling the nation-states and thus establishing a collectivist utopia. The social and political health of a nation is inversely proportional to the degree of racial, lingual, and religious diversity within it. In other words, the greater the diversity in the nation-state, the less stable and enduring it is. A principle well understood by communists everywhere. Marxism is less an economic theory than it is a state of mind from which certain theories and practices have evolved. The state of mind is maternal and group-centered and includes the view that man's natural state is collectivist or communal. Individual needs and wants must be subjugated to the needs of the community or state, to the needs of a borderless world or global village. Now, I've talked about the Liberty Villages here in America, how we need to establish them, because that gets back to basically the rights of the individual. If it's good for me and you're living right next door to me, it should be good for you. In 1841, Moses Hess brought Marx into a society called the League of the Just and taught him collectivist ideologies. Hess wrote, "Dr. Marx, that is the name of my idol, is still a very young man who will give medieval religion and politics their death blow." George Young, another friend of Marx, wrote in the same year, "Marx will surely chase God from his heaven and will even sue him." You see where your lawyers are coming from? Canon, one of Marx's associates in the First International, was an anarchist and by all accounts an ardent Satanist. He wrote, "Satan is the first freethinker and savior of the world. He frees Adam and impresses the seal of humanity and liberty on his forehead, by making him disobedient." Thus, in 1917, when the Second Revolution took place and the Bolshevik government came to power in Russia, the hand that led the people may have been the hand of Lenin and the words of Karl Marx, but the voice was unmistakably that of Satan. In Marxism, society's past needs to be repaired. In the psychobabble nonsense of Freudianism, individual past need to be repaired. In both worlds, these godlike Jewish thinkers believe their deity hides things necessary for human perfection from all men from the beginning of time, and only through extrication of society, Marx, and of the unconscious mind, Freud, could the reality of the forbidden fruit of perfection be achieved. Thus, both philosophers failed to extricate themselves from their own kin's perversion of history, forging their ideas. So instead of creating new sciences of economics and psychology based on a confirmed reality, Marx and Freud simply believed in their own vanities and mixed in some excerpts of the Talmudic worldview they grew up with, blending them with subjective observations of a fabricated history to produce a new Eden for their gullible and largely neurotic clients. By applying their Jewish religious training into Talmudic ways of thinking, Marx and Freud cleverly destroyed the objective principles of Christianity in which the world had been gradually evolving for centuries. Caught between the primary conflict of a finite Christian mortality, together with common sense biblical ethics, versus the Judeo acceptance and promotion of deviation in all areas of life, both Marx and Freud committed the world to violent upheaval and dangerous hazards, the results of which have been utterly catastrophic, with their full consequences yet to be revealed. Conflicts from the creation of Adam until today have been the result of man's ambition to make himself equal with God, or like Nietzsche, to create God in his own image, or to proclaim, like Marx and Ben-Gurion, there is no God, and therefore man has no further need for moral laws. Man thus demonstrates his disdain by propagating ideas of complete freedom from conscience to think and act in absolute disregard and opposition to the well-established, necessary common sense laws required for the maintenance of decent civil, moral, and natural order. This has resulted in the environmental catastrophe, the global chaos that we see all around us, rebellious, self-glorifying ideas which invariably lead to the mass worship of devilish leaders who advocate these insane theories and who, unfortunately, are keenly followed by the unthinking masses who are either stupid, shy, or too proud to announce that the king really does have no clothes. Now, let me interrupt that for a moment and tell you that I keep telling you we are in a war, and that war is pretty evident, at least to me, because my friend Edgar Steele just got 50 years in prison for a crime he never committed, set up by the FBI. And one of the things that they do is use well, you must be crazy. He must be crazy. And this is what they do. This is what they do, and this is what we're faced with right now. Okay. Alright, let me see here. How about that? Okay. Now, let's go back here. Let's go back. I'm just checking here, seeing what we got here.